Hi guys, Chox here. Welcome back to the Basics playlist. Let's get to the table and see what tool we're having a look at next. We are talking rose nails and scissors. And what does nails and scissors have to do with cake decorating? Well, if you want to make flowers, it has a lot to do with cake decorating. So rose nails are what we use to make roses on. I do have a video about making roses, so I'll leave a link for that. But a rose nail is basically a screw base with a flat top, and we take our rose tip, and this is how we make our roses. The nail, it turns around in our fingers like this, while our other hand builds up the flower. Alright, so there are different sizes rose nails that you can get. This is my favorite size. This is a 907 by who? I don't even know anymore. The key thing that I want to tell you though is to make sure that your flower tip is the good size of your rose nail. Like it shouldn't be too much bigger. Imagine trying to make a rose. Well, this one would be okay, but you'd only be able to get maybe 4 or 5 petals out of it. So you want to make sure that your nail is the right size to build up your flower on. Okay, and there are so many different sizes. Now here's something to watch out for. My favorite size is this. I love doing big flowers. I love doing big roses. I will cut my piping bag to do that. My next favorite size for like 8-inch round is this. So these are the two I use the most. These are the two I do not use very often. Alright, you'll notice that also this one has a little bit of a bump. It's got a little bit of a curve in it. So what I've done with this is dab a little icing, pick up a square of wax paper, and then you can build your flower on top of that, slide the wax paper off, freeze the flowers for later if that's your thing. Alright, so while I do use these often, I keep them in my handy dandy little flower kit. These are the ones I actually use the most. I find that I can get the best control out of them, and I can make the prettiest flowers with them. Alright, so that's about the size. This is a large rose, large flower tip anyways. So just make sure that your tip and your rose nail are appropriate size for the job you're doing. Now let's talk scissors. What do I need scissors for? You need scissors for cutting your bags. You need scissors for lifting your flowers off. Alright, again in that video, I'll show you how it's done with real icing. But why I'm talking to you about scissors is, you know those ones that are on the cake decorating tool shelf that are overpriced and they're a little plastic and they look awkward? You do not need those. I have broken several of those pairs of scissors, and you really don't need them. What you do need is a pair of kindergarten snips. These are just like kindergarten, maybe grade 2 scissors. Make sure they're not too thick in the blade. Alright, nice, and you can control them really easily, and they're not too sharp. Alright, you do not want your cake decorating scissors to be too sharp because it will literally cut things out and not hold it properly. So what happens here is you do your rose, you slide these in there, you lift your rose up. Now my rose is sitting on top of these scissors, set it down, pull it out. Or like pull it out, however you do your roses, right? So this is to lift the roses off and set them on your cake. So the importance of scissors here, especially like if you're not freezing your flowers, if you're using buttercream flowers right off the hop, you're making your rose, you've got it all done. Now we're lifting it. I can walk around with a rose on my scissors like this without having to worry because my scissors aren't too sharp. It's not going to cut through the icing, and it's got a nice, what did they call it, viscosity? The hold of the whole thing that holds it up onto the scissors so that you can lay it down, use the tip of your rose nail, hold it there, and away it goes. Alright, so scissors are just as important as your size of rose nail. Even with the little ones, you can still use the same size scissors. Alright, I hope that takes some of the mystery out of making really awesome flowers and roses is on your cake for you. Remember, it's very important to have the correct size rose nail for your tip, and then making sure that you have good scissors. All right, I'm going to put the next video in the series up here in a little box. So please click that to see what is up next. And I thank you for hanging out and watching the Back to Basics Cake Decorating Tools playlist.